It was the 7th of January, 1943. Inside room number 3327 of a New York City hotel, the world's magician, the man who lit the earth with waves of current, Nikola Tesla, was silently taking his last breath. At the age of 86, Tesla, who had withdrawn from the world in his final days, was now completing a story in solitude. A story that had begun with his revolutionary ideas. This was not just the news of a death, it was the knock of an era coming to an end. Nikola Tesla's life began on the 10th of July, 1856. It was a stormy night in the small village of Smiljan, at the time part of the Austrian Empire, and today, a part of modern Croatia. Tesla was the son of an Orthodox priest, yet his mother, who had no formal education, was skilled in crafting small tools and machines. It was this ingenuity that planted the seeds of Tesla's inventive mind. Tesla received his early education in Smiljan and the nearby town of Gospic. He later attended Graz University of Technology, where he would spend hours visualizing and solving even the most complex problems, entirely in his mind. His fascination with science had begun in childhood, particularly with electricity and light. While studying in Graz, he encountered a Graham dynamo machine, which ran on direct current DC. In that moment, an idea sparked in his mind. What if this could be converted into alternating current? This thought would grow to become the foundation of his greatest discovery. In 1882, while working at the Central Telegraph Office in Budapest, Tesla was walking in the park with a friend. Suddenly, in the sunlight, a flash of insight struck him. A brilliant idea in his mind. He picked up a stick and sketched on the ground a rotating magnetic field. This was no ordinary sketch. It was the very principle that would form the foundation of the induction motors still used in homes and industries today. This groundbreaking idea paved the way for Tesla's journey to America. And it was here that a historic battle began. The War of the Currents. Tesla versus Edison. After arriving in America, Tesla began working for the great inventor Thomas Edison, a man already celebrated as the pioneer of electric light. But soon their paths began to diverge. Edison was devoted to direct current, DC, a system that could only transmit electricity over short distances and at a high cost. Tesla, however, saw the flaws. He believed the future belonged to alternating current, AC, a system that could carry power efficiently across miles. When Edison failed to reward Tesla for his promised innovations, the young inventor decided to fight back. Not with anger, but with brilliance. Thus began one of the greatest rivalries in the history of science, the War of the Currents. As Tesla continued developing his AC system, his groundbreaking patents caught the attention of industrialist George Westinghouse, a visionary who recognized the potential of Tesla's ideas. Westinghouse purchased Tesla's AC patents, provided him with a fully equipped laboratory, and most importantly, the financial support he needed to bring his dreams to life. Together, they challenged the dominance of Edison's DC empire, and the world watched as the War of the Currents intensified. Edison launched a campaign to prove that AC was dangerous, staging public demonstrations to spread fear. But Tesla countered with courage. He stood before crowds, allowing high-voltage AC current to pass safely through his body, proving not only its efficiency, but its safety. It was a moment that changed public perception forever and turned Tesla into a symbol of fearless innovation. With the War of Currents finally settled, Nikola Tesla entered the most brilliant phase of his life, a time when ideas turned into miracles. At his laboratory on South Fifth Avenue in New York, Tesla unveiled one invention after another, each more astonishing than the last. The Tesla coil, capable of producing lightning-like discharges that could light lamps wirelessly. The radio, years before Marconi claimed it. The remote control, demonstrated to a stunned audience with a small boat that obeyed his commands through invisible waves. And the induction motor, the beating heart of the modern industrial age. He dreamed of sending power through the air, building a global wireless system that could transmit energy to every corner of the planet. A vision the world still chases today. But even as his imagination soared higher, the foundations beneath him began to tremble. Investors hesitated, and the world that once celebrated him slowly turned away. And thus began the silence. The years when genius met solitude. In his final years, Tesla was still dreaming of wireless power, limitless energy, and machines that could heal the world. But the world had stopped listening. Investors had turned away. Friends had vanished, and newspapers no longer printed his name. Yet, within his small hotel room, Tesla continued to write, to draw, and to imagine, as if the universe itself was still whispering secrets to him. And then, on a quiet January morning, the whispers faded. The man who gave light to humanity was now surrounded by darkness. Not a failure, but a forgotten genius. But history would remember him. Not as a man who died alone, but as the mind who electrified the planet and gave power to the modern world. Years after his passing, the world began to rediscover Tesla, the visionary who had lived decades ahead of his time. His ideas, once dismissed as madness, became the foundation of the technologies we now depend on every day. From wireless communication to renewable energy, from electric cars to global power grids, the echoes of Tesla's genius continue to shape the future he once dreamed of. He may not have witnessed his triumphs, but the current of his imagination still flows. Through every wire, every light, every pulse of innovation that brightens our world. Nikola Tesla, the man who touched lightning and gave humanity its spark. Despite his unmatched brilliance, Tesla's final years were filled with silence and neglect. The world that once marveled at his inventions slowly turned its back on him. He lived in small hotel rooms, feeding pigeons, lost in thoughts of experiments that the world never understood. Fortune and fame had faded, but his mind still burned with ideas too vast for his time. In those lonely evenings, Tesla was no longer competing with others. He was conversing with the universe itself. The same universe whose secrets he had spent a lifetime trying to decode. Forgotten by many, yet remembered by history, Nikola Tesla's name still hums quietly, like an endless current, flowing through time. Nikola Tesla's journey ended in solitude, yet his legacy stands as proof that he was always ahead of his time. A true master of electricity, whose light awakened the entire world. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to Smart Dose and watch more such powerful stories of innovation and history.